All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the open mic. Clap, please, while I adjust the stool. Welcome to the open mic. I'm gonna be your host tonight. I'm Jacob. It was supposed to be Aiden, and then he got AIDS from having sex with too many men. So that's a joke. I love Aiden. Not the gays, but I love Aiden. How are we doing? We've got like 12 comics tonight doing 5 minutes each. I'm going to go first. The other 11 are having a dick measuring contest right now to see who goes next. You guys are free to like fill in on the grass up here. You're going to hear a lot better. It's going to be a better time for you. And this is an open mic. Anybody can perform. It's not super polished. So be respectful. Don't heckle. Be nice. Let's get started. Like I said, I'm Jacob. I'm a junior, but I'm a freshman by credit. I did that joke a lot last year when it was actually a joke, and then I failed all my classes and changed my major, so not so funny anymore. I was in engineering, but I switched out of engineering because I realized that an important part of being an engineer is working hard and not laying around all day eating Ruffles and masturbating, so I wasn't cut out for it. I told my dad that I was switching, and I think he supports me. He said, all right, lay around all day eating Ruffles and masturbating. See if I care. So I think he just wants me to be happy. I was looking through some of my old journals from high school the other day, and I didn't realize it when I was writing them, but every single page of those journals looks like it could be a suicide note. Like if you add goodbye to the end of any entry, it reads exactly like you would find it next to a dead teenager. Like, I copied one of them over for you here. This one's from freshman year of high school. Another miserable week. I don't know if I can keep doing this. My parents just don't get me. The other night for dinner, I wanted Wendy's and they wanted to go to a steakhouse. Outvoted again. And the steakhouse didn't have milkshakes, so I couldn't even pretend like I was getting a Frosty. Between classes yesterday, I tried to do a card trick for Krista because I thought maybe that would get her to like me. Chicks love magicians. But she caught me palming her card and called me a loser. If only I had done the trick right, maybe I'd be getting laid now. So when I got home, I stole a beer out of the fridge. I'm a terrible person. I know I'm too young for it, but I felt so good after I drank that beer. I kind of hated the taste, but it was worth it to forget about Krista for a while. I do feel guilty about drinking. I know other kids my age do it, but I should be better than that. Whatever, I guess I'm not. Goodbye. I was in a pretty dark place, guys. All right, I lied. I said freshman year of high school 3 weeks ago. These are my problems. I fucked up a magic trick, and now I'm in therapy. I was staying with my parents a couple weeks ago, and I finally came out as depressed. And I think they reacted the exact same way as if I had told them I was gay. My mom was like, oh, honey, you need Jesus. And my dad said, maybe you should just kill yourself. But then my mom doubled down. She said, honey, as long as you don't act on these unnatural impulses, you're still pure in the eyes of the Lord. I said, don't worry, Mom. I don't want to blow a guy or my own brains out. I'm Jacob Stout. You guys are great. Next up, we've got Justin White.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Good? Yeah. Doing all right. Except my hometown was recently in national news, which is never good. Strongsville, Ohio. Did you guys see it at all?
No.
No? That's cool. That's all right. Which is never good. You always hope it's a good story, like someone starts a charity or climbs a tree to save a cat. But it's never good. It's always like someone steals from a charity and then climbs a tree to have sex with a cat. Never good. That's not exactly what happened. What happened was one of my classmates actually got sentenced to 2 life sentences. Not great. What she did was she intentionally killed 2 people in a car crash. She drove a car into a building over 100 miles per hour. And it went viral when the judge described it as hell on wheels. I don't know, it looked a lot more like a car on wheels to me. I shouldn't make fun of death, but I'm going to. Funerals are the worst, you know, and I've noticed the worst funerals are always funerals for guys. They're just terrible, you know, because he's usually an old dude, and it's like, he's looked dead for a decade, and now you slap some makeup on him, and I'm supposed to act like I give a fuck? Like, I don't. They're the worst. And then you make me sit and drink stale coffee and cookies with your gay uncle. At least you can do is die somewhere interesting, so we can throw a search party. Now, girl funerals, on the other hand, those are awesome. People are scream crying, someone might jump in the hole. That's always fun. Plus, you get to see a hot-ass corpse. That's fun. I went to a girl funeral recently. It was lit. It was like a party and bottle service and cocaine. It's incredible. Probably inappropriate for an overdose death, though. It's not her fault. She was in DARE. DARE failed her, much like everyone else. I think DARE's so ineffective because it only focuses on the bad side of drugs. I think it'd be a lot more effective if they focus on the good side. Like, not once did they mention how good a warm heroin needle feels, or how fun it is to do coke and have sex with a corpse. I think it's crazy that DARE, they set such lofty goals for themselves. Like, they also teach you sex ed. It's like they really think you're gonna stop both drugs and sex, and the combination of the two. That's crazy. I didn't listen at all. I was snorting Smarties and getting hookers. I was a very horny child. When I was younger, I was so full of cum, if it didn't land on a Kleenex or a couch cushion, it was falling out of my ears. Now it usually just comes out of my ass, but it's a different thing. I was a normal kid. Bear with me here, but they have trans kids here. They're pumping them full of hormones. They gotta be going nuts. I couldn't imagine being trans, you know? New body, don't even know if it works. I got this thing at a Minute Clinic in Detroit. This shit might fall off. And sex used to be scary, man. It used to be awful. Let me tell you about this. When I was 15, I got a hand job at a movie theater on opening day of Black Panther. And I gotta say, terrible choice of film if you happen to be racist and trying to get a hand job. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? During Black Panther, isn't it a little culturally insensitive? I agree. I think it's cultural appropriation to be obnoxious in a movie theater. Here's where it gets real scary. I didn't like the movie. Again, I'm a bigot, so I didn't like the movie. But I had to pretend to enjoy it so they don't find out I'm racist. But I couldn't enjoy it too much, or they'd find out I'm getting a hand job from a teenager. That's scary. Now imagine if I was trans. Imagine if my Detroit-made penis got ripped off. It'd be horrible. I'd rather have sex with a corpse. All right, guys, that's all. Thank you.
Justin, you're off the invite list for my funeral. Next up, we've got Emily. Where you at, Emily? Get up here. Give it up for Emily, yeah.
Hey guys, so I'm a food science major, and if you don't know what that is, it's like women in STEM, but still in the kitchen. So the other day, for one of my classes, we were trying chips, because that's what we do, you know, as food science majors. We try chips, and one was taco flavored, and the other was taco flavored, but with lettuce. So big, crazy change there. And, you know, it had me thinking about chips, and, you know, there's this one really famous chip, it's called the Body of Christ. Don't know if you've heard of it. And that one, like, has no flavors in the past 2,000 years. You know, they need an upgrade. So I was thinking, what if they had, like, flavored blasted extra cheddar body crust? Or, like, taco Jesus with lettuce could be good. Or what if they did, you know, peanut butter and then, you know, pair that with, like, the wine? You have, like, PB and Jesus going on. You know, that wouldn't be fair for people with peanut allergies because, you know, they wouldn't be able to have the Body of Christ, but they don't need it anyway. You know how some schools, they have that table for only the peanut allergy kids? I think it's cool, but I think they could go, like, a little further. You know, like, what if they just sectioned off, like, drinking fountains that only like the peanut allergy kids could sit in the back of the bus or something. I think the peanut allergy table is great, but now they want to live. People with peanut allergies want to live next to me. I don't know about that, but I really can't hate on them too much. My doctor has a peanut allergy, so can't. So I was a TL for VGR. If they're any freshmen here, TL Tell-All, if you remember that. And one of my students asked me what my body count was, but in this really weird, indirect, awkward way. They were trying to buy a used car from the dealership. So they're like, is the leather interior damaged? I don't want the windows roll down for anyone. Do the locks work, or is it just anyone can walk right in? What's that stain on the seat over there? And so I answered about as directly as they asked. I said, well, if drunk cigs don't count, then 0. So that's all for me tonight. Thank you, guys.
Keep it going for Emily, everybody. One more time. Next up, we've got Nick. Where you at, Nick?
Go, Nick.
Get up here, Nick.
Give it up.
Oh, shit. I don't have my glasses on. I'm sorry. Hey guys, so beyond not having my glasses, I've been having an issue lately. Being able to add penis enlargement pills on the laptop. I promise someone else put that in their search history. But I don't mind. I get it. It's business. You have to sell on people's insecurities. I just don't think it's realistic. Just think about it. If doctors could prescribe working penis enlargement pills, that shit would be bigger than the opioid crisis. Imagine this. A black market. Worldwide distribution. Hundreds of millions of pills going worldwide every year. Addicts trying to do everything they can to get premium products. Except, instead of trying to get high, they're getting hard. And I feel bad for the rehab centers. They'd be filled with people just deflating like fucking balloons. Now, normally rehab centers, when they take in addicts, they give them medication, they give them therapy, they do everything they can to help to alleviate their addiction. The dick pills aren't addicting. They just have to tie them to a chair and tell them, hey, size doesn't matter. I think opioid pills and dick enlargement pills have a lot more in common than we would like to think. Because if, assuming these dick enlargement pills work, there would be millions of users worldwide, all addicted. They would lie, cheat, and steal just to get their next fix. And the press would have a field day when they find out Hunter Biden's been doing that shit in the White House. I feel like there'd be different variant names too. We'd have the real classy kind, like the one-eyed snake or the neck of giraffe. But then we'd also have the real sketchy kind, that the guy on the street trying to sell you, like PVC pipe or Silly Willie's shotgun barrel. And this makes me nervous because people would spend all their money. They would sell all their possessions. They would lose their houses just to get more of these pills. And that terrifies me. That terrifies me. Fuck. This is why I write shit down, y'all. Yeah, and that terrifies me. Because if I see God damn it. I'm normally not this bad, I promise. Someone lose their homes. And that terrifies me. Because if this dick enlargement crisis is anything like the opioid crisis, I'm going to be terrified of homeless people. I'm scared enough with homeless people as is. Show me a tweaker with a 12-inch dick, and I'm never stepping foot in San Francisco again. Now, with all of this in mind, I'd like to announce my charity for penis enlargement research right here at St. Jude's. We have all the best doctors, or the ones who went down for the cancer research. We are taking donations. I'm not asking for much, just 4.5 inches. That's all.
Keep it going for Nick. Nick, I want you to tell us more about how you wish your dick was bigger. Next up, we've got my shortest, gayest friend, Paige Falk. Get up here.
Let's go!
Fuck you. I'm starting the pile of liquid death. I don't know who gave us the liquid death, but I know that I should probably thank them because this is my dinner. So I would like to just start off by saying I had a nice conversation with my parents recently of the fact that I am 100% certain that I was a absolute demon child. But they're like, nah, you were just a kid being a kid. And I'm like, was I? I mean, I kind of did stand on rolling objects at 9 months. And I did climb up all of our drawers and pull all our clothes out and not clean it up. But, you know, it's kid shit. But, I don't know. One of the weirdest things I guess I did as a kid is, one night I decided to take off all my clothes and shit on my bed. But that wasn't just it. I'll do a dramatic recreation of how my parents found out that I shit my bed. Yeah, I screamed at the top of my lungs. And I screamed at the top of my lungs, and they come running in, expecting me to be getting, like, I don't know, kidnapped or some shit, and no, it's literally just shit. After that, I had to be taped into my pajamas at night. I guess not as worse as my brother who shit the bed and then used it as paint. Yeah, that wasn't the weirdest stuff I did in the middle of the night as a kid, though. Besides opening all our drawers and climbing it up as a ladder, I would often climb up our diaper changing station and dump all of the diapers onto my sister while she was asleep. I have so many pictures of that. I wish I could remember it, but I can't, sadly. Well, I guess there was the Great Vaseline Incident of 2005. Where the night before we moved out of my childhood home, me and my sister, well, it was me, and then my sister sat on the floor drooling or some shit. I climbed up the diaper changing station again and got into the Vaseline and got it all over our lovely carpet and my hair, and I think I ate half the pot too, which would explain a lot. But that wasn't all, because there's a sequel to the Great Vaseline Incident of 2005, which happened 2 days later in our brand new home, where I got Vaseline all over the floor, myself and my sister, and ate another half pot of Vaseline. Those stains were in the carpet until we moved. I'm really upset because we moved recently, and I forgot to eat a pot of Vaseline before we left the house. Yeah, I think I just covered it. I got everything. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna leave the nightstand like this.
Keep it going for Paige, everybody. Next up, we've got Mark. Get up here, Mark.
Yeah, Mark!
Hello. How's it going? Over the summer, I was working out of Chicago in this big old former government building, and one day in June, a security guard tells me, "Hey, tomorrow we're actually going to have increased security because Joe Biden is going to be here giving a nationally televised speech in the lobby." And that's I'm obviously excited because of that, because the president's going to be here. I don't even really follow politics that much. I just know Biden has a really cool son. But, I was excited. But the more I thought about it, that excitement turned to paranoia, because I just started thinking, with him being here tomorrow, they have to be monitoring this building so heavily. The building has to be bugged worse than a really cheap New York apartment, or worse, a really expensive West Lafayette apartment. And it kind of made it hard for me to go about my day as normal. It's kind of like when you go through TSA and you're doing everything in your power to make it look like you don't have a bomb, to the point where it kind of looks like you have a bomb. That's how I was feeling just going about my day. I wasn't even doing anything weird. I was just doing normal stuff, if I was just wearing a hoodie, or I was watching videos of falling downstairs,
like texting my friends threats towards the president, you know, like normal stuff. Because like we've all threatened the president before, right? It's day-to-day activity. I'm kidding. I wasn't sending my friends threats towards the president because I was sending them to my mom. I texted my mom like, "Oh, Biden's going to be here tomorrow." She replies, "Oh, well, you should try to get a picture with him. Should he stop by your cube?" And I think I went a little overboard because I replied to that, "If he dares step into my cube, I'll turn into the UFC's octagon." So that's kind of where the paranoia began. But so the next day it comes around, and I'm now standing in front of Biden giving his speech. I'm like 200 feet from him. To paint the picture, it is me, a velvet rope, like 5 Secret Service agents, 200 feet, leader of the free world. And I'm not listening to a single thing that he's saying because I am only looking at the Secret Service agents. And the only thought that's coming to my mind is, so if I just take off running with intent to touch Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., how far do I get? And like realistically, I know however far I think I get, it is way less than that. Like, I know the second I break the plane of that velvet rope, they just, like, activate the chip that the vaccine put in me, and then I just stop existing. I also know I'm being just, like, a huge, arrogant asshole, even thinking that I stand a chance there, because I'm looking at these Secret Service agents, these people who have trained their whole lives to protect the president from people who have trained their whole lives to hurt the president. And I'm now standing here going, yeah, I could fucking touch it. Yeah, I could touch the president if I wanted to. And so, Biden's speech ends, and they quickly usher him off stage because his batteries were running out. And it was as if, in front of me, like, the manager clocked out for the Secret Service agents, and they just went from these big, scary protectors of a world leader to just regular people who hate their jobs. Like, the second Biden left, they went from seemingly, if I looked at the president too hard, they were going to break every bone in my body. And then he leaves, and it's, yeah, man, you can steal a product in front of me, and I don't give a shit. And also, the ice cream machine's broken. So, now that they really don't care, I just walk up to the stage, and nobody stops me. And I'm now standing behind the podium, and nobody's looking at me. This place where, not 5 minutes ago, the president of our country is being watched by everybody in the room and potentially any household in the United States. And right now, nobody is looking at me. Like, I could have taken the podium home with me. That's how much I was not being looked at right now. And it was like sort of an intoxicating, like addicting feeling to be in that situation. And I've been trying to replicate it since. I feel like there's really only one way out. So for anyone interested, we're going to meet at the Capitol January 6, 2024. We're going to run it back. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Mark, we support free speech, but not that free. Keep it going. We got our next comic, Ben. Where you at, Ben?
Yeah, Ben!
Where you at, Ben?
God, I can't see shit. Wow. Can't see anything. Okay, my name's Ben. This is my first time doing comedy. I told a friend that I was really anxious about, performing for the first time, and they handed me this really bitter, shitty tasting drink, said this will calm you down, right? I don't know why they thought a liquid death would help me out. So, anyway, all of my friends are stoners, and that might not sound very special, but I'm not a stoner. I don't touch the stuff, ever. Not because I'm religious or anything, I'm just a massive pussy. And, man, this is scary. Okay, so the thing is with stoners is that they're kind of telepathic, right? They can communicate to each other that they want their fix without saying a word. So you load up in an SUV and drive to a nearby gazebo, and they all light up, and you're just also there. Like, yep, I love my friends. This is fun. So I was hanging out with my stoner friends back home one time, and enter Wazif. We'll call him Wazif because that's his real name. I don't know why people care so much about confidentiality when they're telling stories. I mean, as long as the person doesn't do anything illegal, like, you can say whatever. So Wazif's a drug dealer. So, marijuana, meth, LSD, whatever. He comes in, he has this fanny pack, right? But he's wearing it like a bandolier, like Rambo. It's as though he's like trying to compensate for the fact that he owns a fanny pack. No offense to the fanny pack owners in the audience. I wouldn't say that you should kill yourself, but you should do whatever's like most adjacent to that. Like, maybe like fuck a goat on live television. You're not coming back from that, right? Jesus Christ. Okay. Where am I? I wrote this down, but I'm not even checking my notes. I should have those out. I should have those notes out. Also, I have to pay attention to the microphone. That's scary shit. Where am I? Right. So the fanny pack, it says Wham on it in comic book lettering, WHAM, exclamation mark. Right? He opens the bag. He says, "This is Wham, you feel me? $75 an eighth." I'm assuming that's a lot for an eighth of marijuana. Is that a lot? Okay, don't say anything. That's cool. So, this is celebrity shit, you feel me? Only 400 people in the United States have a license to sell this shit. And I say, why would you need a license to have a fanny pack? So, he opens the fanny pack, and he, muzzles me with it. He, presses it against my face. And he says, "Sniff." I'm like, okay. And you won't believe me if I told you, it smelled like ass. So, after that excruciating experience, this guy said, "You feel me," a lot, after almost every sentence. And I'm starting to think that it was some kind of subliminal messaging campaign. Maybe I do want to feel you. And maybe that's his way of selling me the quarter of Wham that he got me to buy. So I don't know what to do with that because I don't smoke it. So if anyone really wants a quarter of Wham and also maybe a fentanyl overdose, hit me up. That's all I got. Thank you.
Keep it going for your next comic, Gavin. Yeah, Gavin. Yeah, Gavin.
All right, so just quick by show of hands, except I can't see anything. Anyone here from Texas? Oh, I'm so sorry. We have one sore loser here. Now, I'm going to shit on Texas because I think we can all agree Indiana, shitty place to live. Texas, shittiest place to live. Now, I used to live there. I can say that, so don't come after me after the show. But why do I hate Texas so much? It's because they have the worst laws ever. They have such stupid laws. For example, until 1973, it was illegal to milk someone else's cow. It's true. Yep, I was there. Neutrogena, it works wonders. I'm actually 50. Yeah, so another, by the way, true thing, look it up. This is another real law in Texas. It is illegal to this day to commit a crime without giving at least 24 hours notice to the intended victims. Now, this notice can be either written or spoken, but it must detail the nature of the crime, especially if it's a violent crime. So I can see it now. Dear Steve, quick heads up, I'm going to drop by tomorrow night to suck the udders of your cattle. Can't wait to taste that sweet, sweet cream from old Bessie. I'm going to fuck that cow. So, hope the kids are well. Your friend, Gavin. Now, fun fact, neither drinking other people's cow's milk or bestiality was illegal in Texas. 2016, yeah. Turns out I didn't have to write the letter after all. But enough shitting on Texas. I'm just going to embarrass myself even more up here. So how about a nice embarrassing story? But, I'm trying to make it relatable. So, fellas, when you're making out with a girl and things are going well and she reaches down, she goes, "Oh my God, what is that?" We've all been there, right? Okay. So anyway, that's how I found out I had a zit down there. Yeah. They don't tell you that shit at the 5th grade puberty talks. And so I found out. I was like, oh, okay, I got to deal with this. But I chose peace. I was like, you know what? It'll settle itself out. I'm not going to use violence to solve this. And then it didn't go away. And it didn't go away. And I'm like, you know what? We got to go to war with this thing. We're going to have to go to battle. So I make a whole game plan. I've got a full blackboard of
battle plan and attack strategies. I'm like, all right, here we go. So D-Day comes. You get it. And it's like, all right, here we go. Now, of course, when you go to pop a zit, you need something to push it. So step one is get excited. Not too excited. And then simply step two is to squeeze the shit out of it. Now, the problem is, when you start squeezing, now you're counteracting step one. And so it's the world's most painful juggling act. You guys sit there and it's like, up, and go. Oh, shit, we're losing it. Medic, get the crash cart. And you're just sitting there, up, squeeze, up. Oh. Anyway, have you ever had tears streaming down your face while you're fully erect? Also just me? All right, so I guess I'm not as relatable as I thought. So how about one last story? This was when the first season of The Mandalorian came out. You guys remember the hype, Baby Yoda, everyone's watching it. And I didn't have Disney Plus at the time, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but thankfully my girlfriend at the time did. So we're watching The Mandalorian, we've watched like a whole episode and most of another, and then it's clear that her attention shifts away from the show. And she starts rolling into me. So you know what I'm thinking. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck off me. It's a climactic moment. We've been through all the rising action for 45 minutes, and now you choose... Keep it in your pants. Yeah, but no, I knew I couldn't say it. That's what I thought, but I couldn't say it. And so she leans in and she goes, how much do you care about the show right now? Now, of course, I'm legally obligated to say, not very much. And so we start making out, but I want to see what's going on. So instead, we just start making out to the sounds of explosions and blaster fire, and I think some dude got cut in half, but I wouldn't know. I'm sitting there trying to, It didn't work. So to this day, there's about 5 minutes of The Mandalorian that I've never seen. So if anyone out there has Disney Plus, hit me up. Thank you guys so much.
You said you had a zit on your cock. I've got something I need to show you. Next up, we've got Madison. Everybody give it up.
Hell yeah, I like your style. Thankfully, I don't have a zit on my dick, so hopefully this will be a little more palatable for you guys. Thankfully, I don't have any liquid death up here either. It's kind of like if a mango had tuberculosis and then I coughed really hard on it. Yeah, that's kind of what it tastes like. But yeah, hi, my name's Madison, token woman. Let's go. Indiana, born and raised, unfortunately. Kind of like in northern Indiana, South Bend area, if anyone's ever heard of it. Listen, I'm fucking sorry, but it's like liberal enough to where I didn't immediately want to kill myself when I went into high school, but conservative enough to where I can make the litany of jokes I'm about to tell you. So in every conservative Christian household in northern Indiana, you're legally obligated to have at least one gay cousin. And in my family, we actually had two. It was me and my other cousin. We were kind of butting heads a little bit because we were trying to compete to see who could be the better gay cousin. But she was always one step ahead of me. Like I came out, she came out more dramatically. I dyed my hair, she buzzed all of hers off. I got a nose ring, and then she explosively left her family and is now touring the country as a stripper in a renovated school bus. So I think she's definitely won the game on being a little bit cooler than I am. But her family is really what I want to talk about here. Or rather, it's still my family, but her immediate family. My aunt is really funny. She's a Republican and a conspiracy theorist in conjunction, which means that she believes in Trump's re-election chances, but not in the moon. Really funny. Her favorite conspiracy theory right now is the fact that my cousin is secretly straight because she's a stripper. She says to me, why would she want all that male attention if she was gay? And I say to her, listen, she's winning because she's getting paid for straight men to fetishize her, and the rest of us are doing it for fucking free. It's highly unfortunate for me. Yeah, I have a very interesting family. Another entirely different sector of it is Mormon, surprisingly enough. My aunt, Sierra, I'm going to mention her by name because I fucking hate that bitch. But she's a Mormon. lives in Salt Lake City, very Mormon in every sense of the word. You know, believes in the whole gospel. You know, Adam and Eve. Garden of Eden was in Jackson City, Missouri. That's actually true if you've ever watched the Book of Mormon. If you have, I'm very sorry. You have to be a theater nerd like me, and I know that's a fate not many can handle. Yeah, but yeah, she doesn't necessarily believe that, but she also believes that the default for humans is white. She believes that other ethnicities evolved from whiteness. And she was trying to tell me about this a few years ago before she moved, and she wasn't too happy about the fact that I kept asking which day God created the first farmer's market. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys have been a great audience. We've got one more comic for you tonight. Everybody give it up for Alden Brew.
Great friend.
So, I was at the store, the grocery store recently, and we were browsing around, me and my roommate, and we saw an entire section of cucumbers that were completely gone. All the cucumbers, all boxes. And I don't really eat cucumbers, but it made me wonder, where did all those cucumbers go? Who's buying that many cucumbers? Kind of makes me think of those elementary school math problems where, you know, John buys 10 cucumbers, gives 5 to Sarah, 3 to Tom. How many does he have left to shove up his asshole? Just real quick. I don't really like cucumbers. I don't really like pickles, but my nurse friend of mine told me a story about this guy that came to her practice because he had a pickle or a cucumber shoved up his ass for 3 days and it turned to mush. And unfortunately, it didn't turn into a pickle. I thought I would. I'm very naive, and it did not. I would probably start liking pickles if I knew there was an anus involved. It makes it fancier, right? It's like that really expensive coffee from meerkat poop. Oh my gosh. So, I'm very naive. I'm very dumb. My family, I was homeschooled, which shows my naivete, and my family taught sex ed very closely. It was very intense. And so when I came to school, I didn't really understand men or women or people, but I decided I'm gonna make a effort to make friends here at Purdue. So my sister told me there's a dating app that you can download that has a friend feature. She was talking about Bumble. I downloaded Tinder, and I put my feature to both men and women, and I set that shit all the way to the top for age. And I got a bunch of dudes right away that were like, hey, how's it going? Because in my bio I said, new in town, looking to have a good time. And they thought that was a euphemism for sexy time. It was not. I ended up going out to pizza with this guy. He was adorable. I was like, let's go out. It's going to be great. We're going to have such a good time. We sat down at a table. I bought my dinner. He bought his. We sat down. We were eating. Then he goes, how long have you been out? I said, out of what? And he said, out of the closet. And I said, I don't know what you mean. He said, how long have you been gay? I said, I'm not gay. He stared at the ground for 30 seconds. It was the longest 30 seconds of my life. But my family, they're a special group. They homeschooled us for so long that I'm pretty sure that I came out looking like a shit stain. My father was a doctor, and he would have to bring food sometimes for they would have a little potluck at the end of each month. And he told everyone that his chili was so good. So they were like, hey, you should bring your chili next time. So he woke up that day, completely forgot to make chili. And if you know anything about chili, it takes a long time to marinate or to simmer. And he did not do that. He was late for work. He grabbed a giant pot from the kitchen, went over to Wendy's, and put the giant pot on the counter and said, I don't care what it costs. I want this full of chili, if you can do that. They filled it with chili. He took it to his work, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is delicious. This is so good. He did not have the heart to tell them that previously he shat in there. That's it. Thank you, guys.
right, that's the mic. Thanks for coming out. Follow us on Instagram at Purdue Suck, Purdue SUCC. We've got a showcase next Saturday, 8 p.m., Matthews 210. Come to that. That'll be a good time. Thanks for coming out. I think that's all I've got. Grab a Liquid Death on your way out because we got to get rid of them. So, have a good night, guys. Thank you.